How's everyone doing? Today I have an awesome haul right here. If you've seen any of these movies, definitely let me know what you think of them. I've got a couple of 4K Ultra HD titles in here, and all the rest are Blu-rays. And recently I posted a video where I got, I think it was 12 Blu-rays for 20 bucks from this person. I wasn't sure if that person was a reviewer or not, and I actually just reached out to them again to see if they had anything else, and they said they do. This time I got 9 titles for 30 bucks, so they wanted a little bit more, but there's some TV show seasons in here, so I wasn't gonna, bicker with them about the price, even though the last time was more titles for less, because this is something that's a little bit different. They're unique titles. Usually if you go on the different apps, there's 5 Mile, Let Go, OfferUp, and then you have Craigslist, and then on Facebook there's different like yard sale groups for your local areas. If you go on all those different places, it's usually the same kind of stuff every time as far as movies and Blu-rays. So this is something that's different, it's unique, mostly newer titles I believe as well, and it's stuff you don't really see all the time, so I had to jump on the deal. So essentially a little over $3 a pop, well worth it, especially some 4K Ultra HD titles in here. If you've seen the movies, definitely let me know what you think of them and which one is your favorite pickup from this lot. So again, it was 30 bucks for these 9 titles. And again, I was thinking this person was a reviewer, or maybe somebody that they knew was a reviewer. I don't know exactly, but they could definitely get way more money for these titles. I mean, there's a couple Twilight time titles in there, and I think they usually go for about 30 bucks a pop. So yeah, it's one of those things, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. So that's what I'm trying to do. I don't want to, investigate whatever, the less I know the better maybe, I don't know, but I'm very happy with what I got right here. First up is King Arthur. I personally am not a fan of this movie though. They're selling this stuff in like a lot, and so that's, I was like, sure, why not? Guy Ritchie, I like him as a director, but I don't think his style worked for this film, and I don't think Charlie Hunnam worked as the lead actor here too. I like Jude Law and his portrayal. The visuals were decent. They're all washed out, grays, lots of blacks, which works for the tone of the movie. But Charlie Hunnam, I like him a lot. I remember first seeing him in Green Street Hooligans, which I personally wasn't a fan of that movie or his role in that, and Elijah Woods I didn't like in there too, but he was great as Jax Teller in SOA. That's just, I think, what he will always be known as. Phenomenal in that role, but I think he fought for this role, and it just didn't fit for me, and I didn't like Guy Ritchie's style directing. A lot of editing issues too. They'll like cut to a different scene, it just doesn't flow well. Like I remember he would do that in the Sherlock Holmes, where it would be all these weird different editing shots, and it didn't really, it worked more for that one. It didn't work here though. But I like Guy Ritchie, just not quite as much recently, and especially not with this one. I'm going to give it a rewatch though and see if I like it a little bit more now, but there we go. It's the recent adaptation of King Arthur. Next up, I was really surprised to see Twilight time. You never see these, especially like locally on like places for sale. Like you'll see people selling them online, for usually expensive prices because they're all limited edition ones. They're both of these are limited to 3,000 units. So I thought that was amazing. This is Kid Galahad with Elvis Presley, and you've got Charles Bronson as the trainer right there. So that's pretty cool. Early Charles Bronson. And this is an adaptation from a 1937 boxing picture, but this is the musical version of it. So looking forward to checking it out. I like old school Elvis movies. My uncle was really big into Elvis. Still is. I like the booklet right there. You get interior artwork. So that's pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to checking this out. And yeah, some classic Elvis right there. And I like what Twilight Time is doing. They're releasing a lot of films that don't have releases already on Blu-ray. Again, you might pay a little bit more for it, but it's a premium. It's it's well worth it. As far as the restoration, the transfer, they don't always have a lot of special features. Sometimes they do. It depends on the title. But you get the booklet in there too. Lots of information. And then this is Suddenly Last Summer. And yeah, some great shots in there. You get interior artwork. I like the clear cases, disc artwork. And yeah, it's not like a huge studio like that, so they're limited releases. And I think that's the future of physical media. They're going to be limited to, several thousand. You might pay a little bit more for it, but if you're a fan, a collector, you'll do it. This one is, Gore Vidal did the screenplay for it, and it's based on Tennessee Williams' play. And it stars Katharine Hepburn and Elizabeth Taylor, who both received Best Actress nominations for it, and it was denounced as obscene, but it was a hit at the box office. It also has Montgomery Clift in here as the psychiatrist. She apparently can see, she knows the terrible truth, Elizabeth Taylor does, about the death of her cousin, and the mother wants, Katharine Hepburn wants to have her lobotomized. I love that cover. Old school Elizabeth Taylor looking stunning right there. So looking forward to checking that out. Next up is, or there actually are 3 different ones from Warner Archive Collection. First up is The Man with Two Brains, which has a loose disc, but it is Blu-ray, so it's a thicker coat right there, so it won't get damaged like a DVD does. I don't think I've really had any issues with Blu-rays getting damaged like that, so that's a good thing. The Man with Two Brains, which I've actually never seen this particular Steve Martin film. I'm definitely a fan. It's directed by Carl Reiner. Steve Martin's absolutely hilarious. I know Kathleen Turner's in here too. I think he's like a brain surgeon. There's lots of hijinks. I've seen like trailers and stuff for it, but I've never seen the film, so looking forward to checking that one out. Another Steve Martin film right here. I remember seeing this one before. I love this one. I've seen this one a few times growing up as a kid with Rick Moranis. Steve Martin is in the FBI Witness Protection Plan, and he's basically a mob informant, and Rick Moranis is the federal agent. Joan Cusack, Goldie Hawn is a executive producer, and Nora Ephron too. So yeah, a lot of well-known people in here. It's directed by Herbert Ross from The Goodbye Girl, and the writer Nora Ephron, she wrote You've Got Mail and a bunch of other stuff in here. But yeah, Carol Kane was the other one that was in here too. A bunch of other recognizable people too. On the back goes through. But I remember this being a lot of fun, so looking forward to checking that one out again. It's been a while, but I remember seeing that a bunch when I was growing up. Next up is a John Wayne movie with Lauren Bacall, Blood Alley, and this looks like it's going to be some good action, John Wayne kicking butt. It looks like he's going to be on a ship, and I guess he's going to be fighting Chinese forces while steering a boatload of Chinese refugees and doctor's daughter along a 300-mile waterway to Freedom Shore. So that looks pretty awesome. Can't wait to check that one out. And then another 4K title, and this is Blade Runner. This is the final cut, and it looks like they must have gotten this one from Best Buy. So maybe they didn't get these for review. I initially thought these were all like review copies that either this person or somebody they knew were getting rid of. I don't really know. I didn't ask. I didn't want to ask. I'm just happy to get a great deal on it. Yeah, this one has the Best Buy sticker on there, so I'm assuming it's not a review copy. This includes over 7 hours of special features. I'm looking forward to seeing what new features are on this set right here. So that's pretty awesome. The final cut in 4K. And I'll go ahead and show you right here. You got the digital copy right there, but then you've got the 4K disc, and you've got disc 1, which is Blade Runner Final Cut on Blu-ray, and then underneath it, I wish there would have been a swing tray. That's like one of my only gripes. Underneath there, disc 2 is the DVD, Dangerous Days and Making of Blade Runner. That would have been nice to be on, at least on Blu-ray. And underneath the 4K disc is the 4th disc, which is, or actually it's disc 3, Blade Runner, the US theatrical cut, international theatrical cut, and then the director's cut. All right there on the one Blu-ray disc. So there you go, a 4-disc set of Blade Runner The Final Cut on 4K Ultra HD. Looking forward to checking this out on 4K Ultra HD as well. So, right there. And then next up are the 2 TV shows, Silicon Valley, the complete 4th season. I love the drawing right there. I've met TJ Miller before. Actually, I just posted on Instagram, in fact, 2 years ago when I went to see his stand-up comedy show. Sat right in the front row. He was definitely on some kind of drugs. I was the only one, my date and I were the only ones to get to actually meet him. He didn't meet the fans, but stayed after and got a chance to meet him, and he signed my steelbook for Cloverfield. He was really cool to me at the end, but that was one of the most craziest stand-up, it is the craziest stand-up comedy show that I've ever been to. Yeah, he broke a glass on stage that he was drinking out of, and then they gave him another glass, and he started putting like the shards of glass into that drink and started drinking out of it, and he was just so wild and rambunctious and over the top, and yeah, it looked like he was doing a little skiing, if you will, and then, you know, all the drinking he did, like, I don't know how many, I don't know, it was vodka, Red Bulls, whatever it was, and then after that, the green room just reeked of Bob Marley. So it was just all kinds of craziness, but hilarious. And this show, if you like, you know, nerdy comedy, like tech stuff, I think you'll really enjoy Silicon Valley. And then next up is Veep, which I haven't seen this show, but apparently Julia Louis-Dreyfus won 5 Emmys for this role. So I'm looking forward to checking it out. I guess she plays the vice president. Looks like a good supporting cast here too. And both of these are HBO releases. So there you go. Those are the 9 pickups right there. If you've seen any of these movies or TV shows, definitely let me know what you think of them, and let me know what your favorite pickup from this lot is. And again, for 30 bucks for these 9 titles, a little over $3 a title, I think it's well worth it, especially since a lot of these ones are, you know, almost that much by, like the Twilight Time ones, I think are right around that price per. And even the 4K titles too. And I don't know how much the TV seasons go for, but it's an incredible deal in my opinion. So I'm thankful, and hopefully I can deal with this person more in the future if they, you know, get more stuff. So I'm souped. Let me know what you think. Leave me a comment or a video response down below. Hope everyone's doing well. Take care.